During the Neolithic period, people began to define themselves by their material goods. They put a lot of time and effort into this process. And for the first time, they began to attach economic value to these goods. And that value became the basis for trade.
The Neolithic settlement of Bayah in southwestern Jordan is guarded by a narrow gorge of red sandstone. The local residents used that sandstone to make distinctive semicircular handicrafts.
People would carve out a disc shape, and then they'd create these items out of the material that was left over. They'd sand down each end until they were quite thin. These items were probably too delicate for people to wear. They're very fragile. It's possible that these rings were used like money in exchange for food or raw materials, for example.
Perhaps the Bayah settlers chose this site because of the color of the rocks. Red-colored artifacts have been found at other sites, and this indicates that Bayah may have served as a model. Neolithic peoples wore ornamented objects made of teeth, animal horns, and plant fibers. They also used flint, jadeite, and obsidian. The use of axe heads made of jade was popular at the time. The trade in jade items was widespread, and they maintain their beauty even today.
They're exquisite, lustrous stores of value. They were used for up to 1,500 years and constantly reshaped. One of our colleagues, Pierre Petrequin, determined that all this jade came from Monte Viso in the Western Alps. It was extracted there and then traded over an area of up to 1,500 kilometers.
Some jade axe heads were also discovered on the southern coast of Brittany, near Carnac. People who were gathering mussels came across 4 axe heads that had ended up in what was, in Neolithic times, alluvial soil.
These axe heads were probably actual work tools at one time, but they were later reshaped and assigned various other functions. The local residents smoothed and cleaned the blades to make them as sharp as possible. Sometimes they broke the axe heads into 2 parts.
In the summer of 2016, French archaeologist Pierre Petrequin found a deposit of jadeite in the Aegean region. The material may have been mined there up to 9,000 years ago. Petrequin's discovery provided new historical insights. But trading was not limited at this time to jade, obsidian, or sandstone rings. The shells of spiny oysters were also used. Here, Austrian archaeologist Marco Presiger uses a reproduction of an ancient tool to make jewelry out of these shells. The shells are found all the way from the Black Sea to the coasts of Central Europe. Neolithic people fashioned them into pendants, bracelets, and belt buckles. And they were popular as gifts.